Good evening, afternoon, or morning. I hope you're healthy. I hope you're staying healthy. I'm the Manly Digger, and this video is about the company Victorinox and Swiss Army knives. Which is awesome. I contacted the company and they said I could use, they gave me a whole bunch of history. They gave me a timeline, which is in the video, and they gave me a whole bunch of pictures to use in the video. So it's going to be pretty cool. I'm so thankful for them. Thank you. It's a good video. I love Swiss Army knives. The Victorinox company, or the company that makes Swiss Army knives, has been around for over 100 years. Any company that has been around for over 100 years, you can learn something from. That's the way I look at it. I mean, that's over 100 years of producing through conflicts, manufacturing disputes. Like that's incredible. Over 100 years, around 130 years ish of creating Swiss Army knives and other products. I'm going to go over this. I'm going to go through a history. I don't know how brief it is because it's a long history. This is a picture of their manufacturing plant in Switzerland. I'm only guessing on that, but it's a gorgeous picture. Here's a timeline, because I love my timelines, of the company. 1884, Carl Elsner, I'm not going to kill his name the last time I'm going to say that name. He is the founder. He made the company, or he started the company. His mother supported him. His mother's name was Victoria. He opened a knife making shop. In 1891, he establishes a contract with the Swiss Army making soldiers' knives. So these knives included, they're your basic pocket knife, but they were made to disassemble and assemble their rifle, which is kind of cool. In 1897, Carl gets the patent for the knife. In 1909, in memory of his mother, Carl named, or gave the brand name, or gave Victoria as the brand name, and the cross and shield as a trademark. Which is known, it's trademark, like 120 countries. The invention of stainless steel in 1921 obviously had a large effect on any knife making business, to include the Swiss Army knives. So that is awesome. That's where they got the last part of the name, the Knox. I didn't know that. I mean, I knew what, yeah, I just didn't know that. That was cool. 1931, plants changed over to mass production of this knife versus being handmade. 1945, U.S. soldiers are fighting a war in Europe, and they see this cool pocket knife, because I can just imagine myself being like, yes, I want that. So they buy them and they take them home as souvenirs. 1950, this is cool because it just shows that it's a family business, and it's handed off from one generation to the next. Nothing really happens in the 70s. It comes more over to America. Not even that. I think I'd say before, like, Americans started to notice this knife, started to use it. It had multiple different uses. It had multiple different things to use. Like, it was your first survival knife. So 1970s, nothing really happened that much, as you can read, except NASA. NASA orders 50 of these knives for astronauts, I'm guessing. That's usually what NASA does. But it just shows you, like, this knife is well known. 84 to 92, the company realized it's growing bigger. It's making more money, so it expands its manufacturing space and office spaces. This is when they start making watches as well. They made watches before, but the watch part of the business came to America during this time in 1989. 2001, the company branches out more into, I guess, the mainstream. They were already in the mainstream, but to different parts, clothing, travel gear, all sorts of different things. And it's cool. It's just the brand is well known. You see this brand, like I said before, and you know it's the Swiss Army, or it's Victorinox, or it's whatever. Another part of the story is these two companies that eventually became one company. So I apologize. I'm going to say Wagner and Victorinox both made knives during the same time, made the same type of knife, had the same contract with the Army. Eventually, one of them lost the contract. There's a big dispute, and they settled it in court. I don't know exactly how it went, but that was in the early 1900s. Finally, in 2007, the Victorinox company took over or bought the other company out. So just a weird side story. Very important, but a weird side story. This is the more modern day coat or handle of the Swiss Army knife. It's the handle I know I grew up looking at and eventually having, and it's obviously plastic, but it's when I think of Swiss Army, I think of this, or the Swiss Army knife. This is what sticks out in my head. It's great marketing, but I don't know, the handle is what makes it, I guess. This is one of the original knives made for soldiers to disassemble weapons, or their personal weapon, which is kind of a great idea. And it's a good starting point because that's how the Swiss Army knife was formed or made, thought up. The process that they went through was, I want to replicate this. This was the soldier knife model 1890, and before the maker moved to Switzerland, he actually made knives for Germany, or in Germany. I don't know if it was just soldier knives or if it was cutlery, but that's kind of what he started off in Germany. Here's a newer knife, 1908. It still has the weird shaped curve, which it's for cutting baling hay or twine, and they kept that throughout the years. They don't have it on there now, obviously, but it was important in the 1900s. Even up in this model is from 1951. Obviously, it says 1951, but it still has that odd shaped blade, and up until the 50s, the style of the knife hadn't really changed. Here is another version of the knife that was issued to the military, actually model 1961 and 1994 and up until 2008. Very basic, compact, and usable for everything. This is my personal Swiss Army knife, my own Swiss Army knife. I've had it for over 10 years. It's been on every military deployment I've had, and it's just been with me for a long time. I haven't always carried it, but I've had different types of pocket knives. I've had it for 10 years. It's lasted. I've had to do minor maintenance on it, clean it, sharpen it, but the biggest issue I've had is with the handles. They come off so easy, super glue, not super glue, some other stronger adhesive, make sure it stays on. So that's it. Like, I remember when I was 8 or 9 that my dad got me my first knife, which was a Swiss Army knife, and it was pretty much like this. It wasn't this one. I used and abused my first one, and lost it somewhere, but it's just a good memory for me. Your basic knife, which I like. It's compact. It has everything I need. So you got your blade, your long blade, your small blade right here. Both your screwdrivers. This is what I like here because you can use it for other things. But this is used for sewing through leather. You can use it for other things. Making holes. I use it a lot of times for making holes. But if something needs to be done, this is it. Most of the time I just use it for opening letters or opening gifts. I love the Victorinox company. I love Swiss Army knives. Mainly dig out.